What's going on YouTube? Hey guys, it's Ben. This is the channel where we talk about all things entrepreneurship, business, startup, everything in between. And if you like that kind of stuff, you should definitely hit the subscribe button right now. And for those of you that are already subscribers, smash the like button. Just for good measure, it will rank up the videos and I would truly appreciate you. So anyways, let's get right into today's video, which is all about credit card churning for entrepreneurs. So you may or may not have heard about this concept before. Credit card churning has become a huge thing lately, and I felt like I wouldn't be a proper entrepreneur YouTube channel if I didn't talk about credit card churning and my own experience with it. So if you're not familiar with credit card churning, basically it's pretty simple. It's the practice of opening credit card after credit card after credit card and meeting a simple minimum spend threshold simply to collect on an airline travel points bonus. And if you do this enough, basically you can travel for free pretty much anywhere you want in practically first class throughout the entire year, over and over and over and over. It's really, really simple, and people take this to super crazy extremes and travel the world for free and do whatever they want. Specifically for entrepreneurs, this is super cool because we spend lots and lots of money all the time. Like I could count $3,000 a month like easily on business expenditures and advertising or software costs or hardware or anything of that nature, right? So it may sound complicated if you have never heard of this concept before, so let me break it down into a really simple, basic, concept here, right? So credit cards are incentivizing consumers to use their card specifically. American Express charges like a 2% rate to the merchant every time that you go and make a transaction with them. So when you buy a Slurpee at 7-Eleven and you use your Amex, Amex gets 2% of that transaction. Over time, they make billions of dollars over the year, and that's why they want you to use their card specifically. So they incentivize you by saying, hey, get our card, use our card, spend about $3,000 in the first 3 months, and we'll throw you 100,000 bonus points that you can use towards travel. And that 100,000 bonus points basically means essentially almost around 2 domestic free flights within the USA. And so essentially you can see how credit card churning works, right? So as an entrepreneur spending tons of money to begin with, right? Like you can grab a card, meet the minimum spend, get the points bonus, get a new card, do it again, get a new card, do it again, get a new card, do it again, over and over and over. So that's the strategy. I personally right now have 6 cards that I'm churning, and that's on the low end, to be honest with you. I've met people who have 12, 15 cards, and this is sort of like the myth about it, right? It's not a bad thing. Everybody thinks this is like a weird, bad thing that's complicated and hard or like not good for your credit or not good for your finances. It's completely fine. It does not affect your score in the long run at all. It doesn't affect anything related to your credit. It actually helps you in the long run, and I'll talk about that later in the video. And overall, it's a totally awesome strategy that as an entrepreneur spending money to begin with, you should definitely be using. So I'm going to go over my credit cards right now just to give you a perfect example of what it looks like, right? So one of the first cards I ever got was a Discover card. It's a Discover It card. It actually does not have that big of a bonus or anything like that. It actually just gives you cash back. So it's kind of wimpy. It doesn't really do anything at all. So that's my first card. The next card that really got me into everything is my American Express Business Platinum card. Now this card has a $500 annual fee, but unreal benefits. So basically it allows you into lounges, first class lounges in any airport in the country or the world for that matter. Gives you free global entry. Basically, if you don't know what that is, it just essentially lets you bypass TSA pretty much and customs. And it gives a huge sign-on bonus. I think the sign-on bonus basically was worth about 3 trips alone, 3 domestic flights alone. So it blew the minimum, the annual fee out of the water regardless. That was my second card that kind of really got me into everything. The third card was my Chase Sapphire card, okay? So this is a really popular card. Chase Sapphire gives out a really nice bonus. I think it was like 60,000 or 70,000 points. And this one has like a $100 annual fee. It's not that big of a deal at all. And so that one got me a ton of points as well. In correlation with my Chase Business inked card. That's the next one that I got, and that actually pools together with the Chase Sapphire because they're the same brand. And so all the points you earn through Chase actually become one pool of points. And right now I think I have something around 200,000 points in total with Chase. The next one I got was actually an American Express Bonvoy card, which is relatively new. This just came out about 6 months ago or so, and the Bonvoy card is actually for hotels. So I kind of switched it up from airfare to hotels just to be fun, right? And their hotels range in tiers from 1 to 6. 1 literally being like the Ritz-Carlton, 6 pretty much being like the Holiday Inn. Now, if you stay at the Holiday Inn, their bonus structure is 100,000 bonus points after spending, I think, $3,000 in 3 months, which I did in basically 3 weeks. And essentially with all expenditures that were totally necessary and business related and not things that I'd spent outside, which I'll talk about again later in the video. But 100,000 bonus points gets you essentially 14 nights at something like a Holiday Inn. So who wouldn't want that, right? Super cool. The latest and greatest one that I got was the Capital One Venture card. This is a pretty popular card. A lot of people are getting this lately. And this one has a waived fee. So there's no fee for the first year, and then there's a $100 fee for the second year. And this is going to end up getting me at least 2 free domestic flights once I hit the threshold, and I'm literally already halfway there. I just got the card, I think, last week just by putting everything on there. So anyways, those are the cards that I actually have right now, and all of the points bonuses on them. So just to recap, right, my Discover card gives me a little bit of cash back. It doesn't really do anything for me. So Discover's not the greatest, but American Express, I currently have, I think, about 240,000 bonus points, and that equates to essentially around 6 domestic flights for free based on those points. Haven't used them yet, but I have them sitting in the bank right now. My Chase Sapphire has 100,000 points on it. That right there is approximately, I think, about 2 flights, 2 domestic flights. And then my Chase Ink card, another 100,000 points I have on that. That has 2 domestic flights for me as well, for free that I can use. And then my Bonvoy card, again, 14 nights at pretty much any Holiday Inn, like whenever I want to travel. And then again, I have my Venture card, which as soon as I hit the minimum on this, which will be like literally in a week, I'll be able to have 2 domestic free flights. So pretty much putting it all together, I'm basically going to have, or right now I have approximately 10 free domestic flights just by using all of my credit cards for business purposes. For everything that I spend, I use the cards only. I do not use any debit. I do not just, take cash out or do anything stupid like that. I use credit strategically in order to fly, get free flights, get free hotels, get whatever, right? And so that's the strategy. That's what you do. Now, of course, in summary, there are, what's the catch, right? Like, so what's the whole catch behind the thing, right? Well, it's pretty much just the annual fees, right? It's the annual fees, and it's also organization. So first, let me talk about annual fees. The annual fees in total for everything here approximately goes up to maybe about just under $1,000. But the value in flights and hotels and everything that I'll earn for the course of the entire year is basically about 10 times that value. So it doesn't matter because I'm coming out on top no matter what. And on the second note of organization, you have to know exactly when you've met your threshold on a card and then when to get the new card, right? So, every time you finish out a threshold, you grab a new card, you sign up for a new card, and you start putting every single thing that you spend on that card. You can't be lazy about this. So your electric bill, your groceries, your DoorDash account, your Uber account, whatever you spend, like any of your software costs, like your advertising costs, like if you use Indeed.com and spend $500 to $1,000 a month on that, put that on your card. Make a list of everything you use, set it to your card, and add it on there so every expenditure goes to that card. So that's how you basically get all of the money funneled towards there. You meet the minimum spend, and you get the credit card bonus like that, and it's super simple. Now, there's rules to this game, okay? So rule number 1 is you absolutely never start credit card churning, even if you're an entrepreneur, if you have debt. If you have debt that you need to pay off on a credit card that you got from a past life and you still need to pay that off, pay that debt off. Do not start credit card churning before you do that. Number one, you probably won't get approved for the cards. Number two, it's just stupid. So pay the debt off first. The second rule would be to only earn your points by spending on the minimum spend by things that you would actually spend money on, right? Do not go out and buy a huge flat screen just to meet the $3,000 minimum spend, right? I only spend money on things I actually am gonna buy regardless, right? Like that I would buy in cash or buy on debit no matter what, like things I'd actually have to spend money on. Rule number 3 is don't open a new card anywhere between 3 to 4 months before you're about to spend or before you're about to apply for like a home loan or a car loan or some sort of line of credit from the bank or something like that. What happens is every time you open up a card, a hard inquiry goes on your account, on your credit. And basically, that means that they check your score, which means your score dips a little bit. So every time you open up a new card, you can count on your score going down anywhere from 15 to 25 points or so. It happens. But what happens is your score always recovers around 3 months. So your score will pop right back up around 3 months later, which is around the time you'd be getting a new card anyways. And so that's basically how it works. So your score really is not impacted at all. And overall, having 6 cards, right, gives me tons of credit, right? Like the American Express Business Platinum is actually an unlimited spend credit card. And the rest of these are all about anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 limits. So I have a ton of credit. So my debt to credit ratio is amazing because I have 0 debt and I have tons of credit. So essentially it's boosting my score like immensely. And the more and more cards I get, I'm just going to have way more credit and 0 debt. And so I'll just have an awesome score and the score will grow and grow and grow. And so I'll look really good on my FICO. And the fourth rule about credit card churning is to smash that like button if you got any value out of this video. I really appreciate you guys watching and checking it out. If you're not a subscriber yet, definitely become a subscriber right now. I will catch you guys. Happy 4th. I'll catch you guys tomorrow on Friday. So see you later. Take care.